We are back with a brand new video. What is good, Heat Nation? In today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the newest members of the Miami Heat, Darius Days. The Heat have just signed two players to two-way contracts, one that we are already familiar with and one that a lot of people do not know about. So I'm going to be touching on the one that we do not know about, which is Darius Days. So without further ado, man, make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new. Thank you again for 2,000 subscribers, and comment down below what your thoughts are about the signing. We're also going to be touching on the KD and Mitchell situation as well. So any thoughts about that, let me know down in the comment section below. Last thing, so a couple of housekeeping things. I do want to make sure you guys are follow my Twitter, because my Twitter is a very good place to just chop it up and talk Heat basketball. We had a great live spaces yesterday, man. We had like 50 plus people in there. We were chopping it up. Everyone was talking, like, it was going crazy, and we were going live for like 3 hours. So if you guys ever just want to talk Heat basketball with me, I like launch these spaces like every couple of days. So like if you guys just want to do that, make sure you guys follow my Twitter. It'll be in the description. And last thing, go check out my second channel, which will be in the pinned comment. That's for just NBA basketball, college basketball in general. So yeah, without further ado, man, let's get right into it. The main purpose of the video is to talk about Darius Days. I apologize for any background noise, but I'm not recording in the best environment right now. But Darius Days is what we're going to be talking about first and foremost. This is a player that the Heat have just signed like 10-15 minutes ago, was on the Spurs Summer League team, and was actually hooping, man. He was really, really good. He played at LSU. He was named second team All-SEC. He averaged 13.7 points per game, 7.8 rebounds, 1.5 steals. He was doing a little bit of everything on the court. He averaged about two offensive rebounds per game. He shot 43% from the field, and he shot 35% from 3 on 6 attempts, shooting 70% from the line. He's a power forward, 6'7" power forward. He has a 7'1" wingspan, and he's a two-way player. Obviously, not just with his contract, but on the defensive end, he's a very good mobile defender, and he can also be a serviceable player offensively as well. So he is a power forward, and I know we've been pretty thin on the power forward front after losing PJ Tucker in free agency. Have not really replaced that yet, and the main reason is we are going after a couple of stars that are on the market right now, and due to that, I think we had to put the whole power forward search on pause. Well, if we get Durant, you know, he would probably be the power forward for sure. But I know a lot of people wanted us to go after Grant and Wood and even people that are on the market right now, like Miles Turner and John Collins. Like, I know a lot of people want us to go out and get them, but I think they're going after a whale right now. I think they're going to put all these other secondary additions on pause. Darius Days is a very good signing on a two-way. He was really hooping in Summer League for the Spurs. A lot of Spurs fans were upset that the Spurs did not bring him back. I'm going to go through some of his strengths and weaknesses real quick. I wish I could put his highlights up, but for some reason, I just, get copyright striked and all that. So YouTube, like, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I wish I could put his highlights, but I could put a couple of links that I've seen in the description. I've watched him at LSU though. I have watched him at LSU. He spent all 4 seasons with LSU. I watched him particularly, I think, a couple seasons ago when Cam Thomas was on that team. Javonte Smart, who the Heat had last year, was also on that team. And he is a very solid player, man. He's a very strong. He's agile. He has the size and the frame to muscle through crowded areas in the paint. He's able to score in traffic sometimes. He's able to get rebounds and put it back up for layups. He's also able, like I said, to shoot the 3. He shot 35% from 3 in his senior year on 6 attempts per game, which is a pretty good number for a big man. And he's not really like a big, but he's like he's a versatile 4 who can also play small ball 5 at times. He's a mobile defender for sure. He can pick off a lot of steals. He averaged about 1.5 steals per game. Creates a lot of fast break opportunities for his team. Those are the positives that I really see with his game. Some weaknesses that I see: turnovers. He averaged the most turnovers last year than he did any other season, and I think a lot of that is because he got more reps with the ball and stuff. He had the ball in his hands more, but he does have a tendency to turn the ball over. His playmaking could use a little bit of work. From the time I've seen him, like I said, I'm not an expert in LSU basketball, but from what I've seen of him, has a little bit of tunnel vision at times. Ball handling a little bit could use some work as well. he's not a shot creator. That's what he's not. He can, make something out of nothing as far as getting offensive rebounds and getting put back layups, or when he gets the ball in the post, he has maneuverability to score over multiple defenders or score through multiple defenders. And when he gets the ball on the three-point line, he's mainly spotting up. He's not doing a lot of shot creation off the dribble, as you would expect a lot of power forwards to do. Power forwards are necessarily, I know the game is changing and you have a lot of guys who are able to create their shots now, but traditionally a power forward is not really a shot creator. When you look at guys like even PJ Tucker, he was mainly spotting up for us or hitting that little floater for us. Even Jay Crowder, who we had before. So he's in that mode where he's not really a shot creator, but he's more of a shot maker. But that's not a bad thing because he does know his role and he does play his role extremely well. Another problem with his game to me is foul trouble. He gets into foul trouble a lot, but I think, defensively, that's when he's guarding bigger players. I think he's a very adequate defender when guarding smaller players because he's so mobile for his size. And I think he's a very good rebounder and his motor is off the charts. So he's not the most athletic, but I think that, he makes up for that because he's mobile. Like he's not dunking on people all the time and stuff. But he's mobile enough where he can keep up with some guards here and there. His motor is high. And even though he's not an elite athlete, he's not a terrible athlete either. So that helps him defensively. And the motor for sure helps him on the glass. He is a streaky shooter, but he's, like I said, he's shown ability to knock them down when needed. His first step, like I said, is not the best, which is fine because, he's a power forward. He's not a guard. And like I said, playmaking and ball handling, and foul trouble are his three main weaknesses for me. But I think he can be a great 3-and-D type player in the NBA. Just fill that role as need be. I kind of look at him as a more watered down version. Obviously, these are like my comparisons, but I don't see him. I don't know if he's going to reach that level, obviously, because these guys are very solid players in the NBA. When I make comparisons for a player, I make comparisons based on play style, not based on what I think they can become. And based on play style, this kid reminds me a lot of either a watered down version of Paul Millsap or Jeremy Grant. Both of those players, I see a lot of his game in them, or I see a lot of their games in him, I should say. I think that he has the potential to be a very, very good 3-and-D type player. I think what the Heat are going after is a guy who can be a plug and play player. He's not a guy that you're going to need a lot of reps to develop. He's not a guy who's, gonna need a lot of time in the G League. He's a guy like Haywood Highsmith. He's a guy like Caleb Martin, where you can just throw in spot minutes here and there, and he can be a very serviceable player for the Heat. I would not be surprised if he got minutes in the regular season, especially because at the moment our power forward position is very, very thin with the departure of PJ Tucker. Markieff Morris is not on the roster as of right now. We really have Caleb, we have Haywood Highsmith, and we have the kid that we just signed, Darius Days, who I'm talking about right now. So he was a projected second round pick to being an undrafted player. He did not get drafted, but I think he still has some game, man. I'm not gonna lie. He's not a bad player at all. Like I said, wingspan, 7'1" wingspan with the 6'7" height and shoes. Played at IMG. He's a local kid anyway. He's from Florida, so he knows the Heat culture. He's a Heat culture type player. So I think this is a very good addition for the Heat. I think that they know what they need. He's not a high upside swing or anything like that. He's a guy who can just contribute right away, and that's what the Heat need, especially for a playoff pushing / a championship contending team. Not playoff pushing, sorry, championship pushing and championship contending team. So yeah, that's what I have to say about Darius Days, man. You guys can do your own research by watching some film of him. From all the time that I've watched him, I've not really watched Darius Days to watch Darius Days. I've watched Darius Days through watching LSU and watching guys like Cam Thomas on that team. That's who I was most intrigued by. But I did notice Darius Days. I have seen his film and stuff. I have watched him over the last couple of seasons. So I would say my analysis is pretty accurate, not completely spot on, maybe people would say, but I think it's pretty in the ballpark of what he could be in the NBA. So that's what I have to say about Darius Days. Before we end the video, I do want to touch on the Durant and the Mitchell situation real quick because we have some updates. Now, for the Mitchell situation, after it came out that the Jazz are listening to offers, the Knicks have been heavily involved in discussions. They were close to a deal on Tuesday, but I think the asking price was too much and they kind of backed off for now. Right now, the Utah Jazz want draft capital. That's what they're most intrigued by. And the Heat do not have a lot of picks at their disposal, which is why the Knicks are in an advantage here because they have 8 first-round picks that they can offer. Now, will they do that? I don't know. I wouldn't put it past the Knicks to offer 8 picks or 6 picks or 7 picks for Donovan Mitchell. But the Heat have to go out and try to find draft picks from a 3rd or 4th team. Now, this is both applying for Durant and Mitchell. You know, you need draft picks for Mitchell. You need draft picks for Durant because right now the Heat have, I think, 2 draft picks that they can throw. They need, or I think 2 or 3. It might be 3, but I think they need at least 3 more in order to make a Durant or a Mitchell trade. Now, where did they get these picks from? OKC is already an option that a lot of people would say you could use to get some first round picks. Now, OKC has a lot of first round picks at their disposal. You could throw them a young player. I've seen a lot of people saying you could throw Robinson to OKC, but the problem with throwing Robinson to OKC is that Robinson's contract is so bad that you're gonna have to throw a pick additionally on top of Robinson to get another pick back from a rebuilding team like OKC. There's no reason for Robinson to go to OKC because he does not really, he doesn't fit their timeline. They don't really need him. His contract is way too big. They would want either an expiring contract or a guy who is a younger player to throw to OKC. You would have to, with the players that I'm going to list, you would have to use a combination of them to get at least 2 or 3 picks. The players are Lowry, Duncan, Robinson, as I just said, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Omer Yurtseven. Those 5, I'm probably missing someone as well. But all those guys except for like Hero, which is like the main asset in a Mitchell or a Durant trade, you would have to use a combination of either of those to go free up some picks and from a different team and get some onto your team. Now, another team that I've been seeing is Dallas, because Dallas has picks at his disposal, and Dallas is trying to push to a championship contention. So they could use a Robinson, they could use a Lowry, they could use a Strus. You know what I'm saying? The Jazz, this is from the Salt Lake Tribune, are very intrigued in Strus. So if you throw in Strus to that package and add some more picks, you could have yourself a deal. I think for the Heat to pull this off, it would take a 3rd or 4th team, and it would have to be like a massive 3 to 4 team trade for this all to happen. The Knicks' pathway is more straightforward because they could just do a straight up deal with the Jazz. But I think the reason it's not done yet is because the Jazz want to give the Heat a chance for their offer so that they can look at both offers and decide which one is the best. So I think that's the holdup right now. I think it won't be done for a couple weeks. You're going to have to see what happens. But for now, I do believe that the Knicks are the front runners for this deal, just because they can just pull it off straight up. They don't need a 3rd team's help. And to be honest, man, if they want to throw 8 first-round picks for Donovan Mitchell, they can have him. Like, I would love Dono on this team, but like all those first, I mean, like, honestly, I don't really care about the picks, but like 8 firsts is a lot, bro. Like, that's a lot. And you got to thank Rudy Gobert and the Timberwolves for messing up that market, because now every team is going to want to be stingy with their assets, and they're going to want to, demand a lot. So, you can thank the Timberwolves for messing up the market, but I think the Knicks are the front runners, but I think the Heat can still pull off this trade if they, find a way to get more picks from a 3rd team. Kevin Durant, just touching on him real quick. I think the Heat have Kevin Durant as their number 1 option. I think they're still looking at Mitchell as well, but I think Durant is their guy that they're trying to go get right now. Another, similar case. You're just gonna have to get more picks from any of the teams that I mentioned, or other teams if you want to get them involved. Now, a big boost for the Heat with this situation is that Kevin Durant has already specified that his 2 preferred target destinations are either the Suns or the Heat. Now, the Suns kind of lowered their chances of getting Durant, or even probably took themselves out of the Durant sweepstakes by fumbling the whole Ayton situation. Now, what happened was that Ayton signed. He was a restricted free agent. He signed with Indiana on a 4-year, $133 million max contract. The Suns had to match because they didn't want to lose him for nothing, and now they cannot use Ayton in a trade for actually until January 15th. now, and he basically chooses where he wants to go because he has veto power over any trade. And now apparently they're trying to just build with him again. They're just trying to run it back, so that lowers their asset pool, and that makes them trying to trade for Durant even more difficult. So the Suns kind of lessening their chances has made the Heat, I think, the favorite according to a lot of betting places, but I don't think the Nets are too satisfied with the package that the Heat have at the moment. I think they still want more picks, so I think that's what the Heat have to figure out. It's going to be the same situation. You just got to get more picks from a third or fourth team, and then you can probably talk to the Nets or the Jazz. But yeah, that's basically the Kevin Durant and the Mitchell situation. Another name that I do want to talk about before we end this video, I haven't seen a lot of buzz about Kyrie Irving, and I'm not sure why. Now, I know Kyrie Irving is a polarizing figure. I know a lot of Heat fans don't want him because he doesn't fit the culture and whatnot. I know some Heat fans like me would take him on the Heat if it was between getting Kyrie or running it back with the previous team. I would get Kyrie, but I think that Kyrie Irving, we were talking about it in the spaces yesterday, and I think Kyrie Irving would be a very, very underrated addition if the Heat were able to pull it off. Now, they can pull it off pretty easily because when you're looking at what the Lakers are trying to offer for him, Russell Westbrook, Taylor Horton-Tucker, and 1 pick is what they have been offering. The Nets want more picks. The Heat can offer 2 or 3. They can offer 2. They can offer a better younger asset like a Nikola Jovic, who is 10 times the upside that Taylor Horton-Tucker has, and they can offer a Lowry or someone else like that. That would be a better package for the Nets, and I think the Heat could be able to pull it off if they wanted to. Now, the reason I don't think Kyrie is getting traded is because has not gotten traded yet. Isn't getting traded. The reason he has not gotten traded yet is because the Nets want to figure out the KD situation, and any team knows they can pull off a Kyrie trade in minutes. They want to get the biggest option. They want to exhaust that option first before moving on to the lesser options. I think Kyrie is probably option number 3. I don't even know if the Heat are interested. I know he is interested in coming to Miami because that was one of the destinations on his list if he were to get traded. But I think the Heat have Durant as option number 1, Mitchell as option number 2, and if Kyrie was ever going to be a possibility, he would probably be option number 3. So that's an interesting possibility. You would probably not have to give up Hero to get Kyrie. You would get Kyrie, you would keep Tyler, you would have Jimmy, you would have Bam. You would have to figure out what to do with the 4, but I think you could, figure that out by trading Robinson or trading Strus or someone else like that. So that would be a pretty interesting, proposition or possibility if you strike out on Durant or Mitchell. So keep an eye out on that. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, man. I did talk about Darius Days, the newest signing. I talked about Durant, Mitchell, Kyrie. If you guys have any other questions or comments for me in the comment section below, please put those down so I will be able to answer them in the next video, or through through the comments or through Twitter. But yeah, please interact in the comment section below. Any questions, comments, I do want to hear all your thoughts. And yeah, without further ado, we're gonna end the video right there. Make sure you guys follow my second channel and my Twitter, which will be in the description and the pinned comments respectively. I'll see y'all later. As always, man, have a nice day.